Hello, everybody. Flotsam, welcome in. How are you doing? All right. Hey, Wandering Picked. What's up? A few weeks. Yeah, it has been a few weeks, hasn't it? That's all right. No worries. I'm gonna try to get some things ready here. Trying to play catch up this morning. That's all right. 3 weeks on vacation. Dang, you're definitely not American. Wild. It's awesome, man. All right. Excuse me. Here's what we're doing. I'm going to work on these guys. Perturabo is basically assembled. One thing I have to do with Perturabo, though, where is it? Here it is. Let's see if I can break my finger on camera or something, but it's starting to come up. I froze this mini overnight, this piece. We have to get this apart, these three pieces here, because I can't fit the gameplay base into here. So I think what I need to do, we'll mess with this for a minute. Why not? Let's get that. What else? Don't want to use the knife. We'll use the knife on there, and let's see. That's the way to go. Some of this glue isn't even brittle or dried. I very distinctly remember smearing glue over here so it holds and doesn't come apart. Very intelligent decision on my part, but at least no one's gonna see this. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, some of that glue just never dried. I think I need to go get some more super glue. My glue's getting old and tacky. Okay, so we got that piece. Now we need this piece off, and then we have to magnetize these pieces because they will not. Yeah, allow me to actually put the gameplay base inside. So, something I was too dumb to see ahead of time. Glue breaks first or the resin? Yeah. Aren't we seeing it? Shush, shush, cultured American, shush. The glue broke before the resin did. What's going on, man? This kind of, man, this little spudger has been through a lot. The fact that is I just did such a great job assembling this mini the first time. Working on Emperor's Children, yeah. Got reached apart, create processor, start questioning everything. Oh no. I'm liking the updates so far. We talked about them a lot yesterday. I'm more than happy to talk about them. There we go. That just popped right off again. All right, sweet. So, back to, like stage 4 on these guys. Definitely not stage 1 because they're off the sprues and everything. But was that fit under? Yeah, it did fit under there. Okay. All right, that was made to fit there. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to clean up the super glue on here. I think I'm gonna freeze this overnight again, and then we can just scrape the glue off because it's still tacky in some places, which is wild. We're gonna do that, and then I need to magnetize these. These have to have magnets. Because of this, I could just trim out this piece. Sorry, this piece right here. If I just cut this piece out, it might actually save me from having to do a lot, but I think there might be more involved in this. I might have to trim that out anyway, and then still magnetize some things. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, so freezing super glue, any kind of CA glue, makes it super brittle and weak. So that was how I was able to get this apart in the first place, and I froze it overnight. I just popped everything off the actual base, but I'll just have to do that. You know, I want to freeze it just to make sure it scrapes off easier. But yeah. Pro tip for anyone who messes up for super glue. Now, I was able to pry those pieces apart because it's thick resin. If it was like delicate pieces like hands and stuff, I would not be able to put that much force into breaking it without breaking the resin. But if the pieces were smaller, there should be less super glue, which means that the super glue would freeze easier and become more brittle and would break easier. So, you know, it's all like kind of relative, I guess. Super glue your minis onto your base in case you ever need. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. All right, so 3.0 stuff. I have talked about this like ad nauseum the past, 24 hours or whatever, but I don't care. I'm going to talk about it more. I really like the 3.0 rules I've seen. I'm like 85% for and 15% against the changes that I've seen. There's some strange things about the rules, and I know people have been calling out that maybe there's like AI written rules and stuff, which could be the case. I'm not one that just like determines what's AI and what isn't by looking at it, but I think what I think has happened with the rules, because it's crazy how they wrote the rules. Like they'll spend 2 paragraphs explaining something they used to explain in 1 sentence. And what's nice is a lot of the rules, especially like the keywords and stuff, they have hey, paint needs plastic, what's up? Yeah, they forgot to delete the tag. Yeah, a lot of the rules have like a summary in the beginning, like this rule does this, and then they spend like 2 paragraphs explaining what that is. That this gives +1 to wound or whatever. Like, way overkill explaining rules, and they'll take like really mundane seeming things and then just explain the rules away in the most like convoluted and overcomplicated way. Exactly, cultured American. Yeah, they're getting ahead of the FAQs, I think is what they're doing. So I think what they did was they made summaries of the rules. So like, hey, this rule adds +1 to wound. Cool. And then they put the crazy long text summarizing it. It reminds me of the tournament document for 40K. Any of those like 40K players know of that document. That's essentially another rulebook, but everything is worded in such a horrible manner and like way overdone to try to make things be clearer in some weird fashion. It reminds me of that, but they just put it in the main rulebook. So the big example I use for that I'm doing all right. I'm getting over this like cold thing that I've had, so I'm hoping I'll be able to stream for a nice long amount of time today and get a bunch of painting in, but we'll see. Um, the rule that messes with me the most, the part of this rule is the close combat rules, and they break everything down into steps. So every phase has sub phases that are multiple sub phase. Every sub phase has like 10 steps that you go through. So if you were to play this game and you're say, okay, step 1, we do this. Step 2, we do this. You're gonna be playing a game for 15 hours. I think a lot of those steps are things that are intuitive to someone who has played Warhammer before. Like, you understand, if you know about initiative, you understand that highest initiative goes first. You separate out your attacks, based on, who's attacking with weapon skill and the types of weapons they're using, blah, blah, blah. Simple stuff. They broke that process down into like 6 pages of rules. And they end up using words to describe steps that are crazy to me. So they actually have something called like a strike group. So you go into close combat and you have your initiative step. All right, so the initiative step, once you determine initiative step, it's broken down to like another 7 steps. All right, and then you separate your dice into strike groups, and so you make all these pools of dice, and every pool of dice is a different weapon skill or weapon, or like model attacking. But like, if you have similar weapons and similar models, like 5 dudes with a chainsword in the squad, like you keep those in the same strike group. So you and like both players make their strike groups, and then you roll to hit. And then both players determine what hits and what doesn't. And then you make new strike groups based on, like, if there are similar strengths and AP values on weapons and damages and everything. So you make new strike groups. And then players roll to wound. And then you take those strike groups. And like, it just continues with that. Like, I don't know why we had to call something strike groups. And then they have a paragraph at the bottom of those of like one of those pages of rules that talks about like fast rolling dice, which they have in like all of their rule books. And it's just like, hey, you can roll dice, use different colors for different attacks. Boom. Like, that's it. Like what normal people would do. Hey, you can roll dice, use different colors for different attacks. Boom. Like, that's it. Like what normal people would do. So yeah, the close afternoon. But it's crazy how wordy they make these rules. And yeah, I feel like it's to try to get ahead of FAQs and stuff. Yeah, fast rolling. I mean, yeah, they're just, they make a thing about, like, instead of just doing strike groups or whatever, you just roll the dice, Oh no, stream, stop. Wait. Am I back? You guys see me again? I drink water while I'm gone. Okay. Hope I'm still there. I don't have any dropped frames or anything, but yeah, it says it restarted the stream for me. So, anyway, I think I'm back. Refresh if you need to. Okay, drop for a second. Yeah, yes, I'm getting all the ads. No, I'm sorry though. Sorry guys. I don't know what happened. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for the casing on that. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Refresh if you need to. Yeah, no kidding. Need to refresh sometimes. Can you guys hear me? Seems to work now? Okay. If you guys hear children laughter or Nerf gun shooting, that's because my son has a friend over right now. Yeah, some things and am I able to be heard here? Or did this stream just like poop out? We can hear. Okay, okay, good, good, good. Guess had me concerned there for a minute. All right. So, Culture, do you play 30K and it's in the current edition? I don't remember if you actually played or you were collecting an army or what. But something I really like about the new rules are the way vehicles work, on paper at least. I haven't played. Rewards for treachery will fit into the new Force Org. I did see a rumor about Alpha Legion. Actually, someone, one of the more reliable people, actually posted about Alpha Legion this morning. Okay, you play 40K in AOS. Okay, okay, so specific changes to units probably wouldn't mean a whole lot to you in the 30K like space. So bicycle fish, no, it's all right. Wandering pig, it's fine. So a guy posted that there is it's the Alpha Legion specific detachment that they can get because legions have specific detachments for them, and the Alpha Legion one basically gives you other Legion units in their detachment, is what it is. So he wasn't like too specific on it, but he did say that their detachment gives you other Legion units. So it looks like they're still going to have that mechanic in some way, shape, or form. 1,500 points Mechanicum and won a game before the edition change. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that would mean 2.0 Heresy is truly like the last of the old school Warhammer games then. Because this is definitely a different game. This is not, as they were saying, the same game. I mean, the same core game, maybe. You could probably make an argument for it when we see everything, but yeah, there's a lot changing. But then again, it's an edition change. There's supposed to be things that change. This isn't a 2.5, it's a new edition. I think it was more rare than not that edition's got only slight adjustments. Yeah. They added stuff from Rogue Trader. That's true. They did. They did. Yeah, there's like a weird. There's like Necromunda. There's Rogue Trader. There's Legions Imperialis rules all mixed in. So we're gonna see what else what other games they steal from. You're a painting dad too. Awesome, Burrow. How you doing? And thank you for the sub. Doing it on YouTube. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. So if you hear me talking to other people and you can't see their chat, it's probably because they're in the other streaming service, hanging out. Yeah, like I said just a minute ago, if you guys hear like very loud children in the background, it's because my son has a friend over and they're a little bit crazy. So, okay, cool, we got that one. Yeah, the Force organization chart is very much like Imperialis, Legions Imperialis. All right, 8 more to go. Contemplating how to finally break out my Age of Darkness box. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Age of Darkness box is, and it might hold the place of the greatest value box that GW's probably ever made. It's just gold through and through. And yeah, you can happily make any Legion with that box. It covers all your bases. It's 2,000 points worth of minis in a single box. It's crazy. Crazy how good a deal that is. There's gold in it. I mean, there might as well be. It is GW plastic, which is about the same price per ounce, I think. There's gold in them boxes. I was wanting to paint some minis with my son this week, but wasn't able to get around to priming and getting it all ready. But we're going to test out a color scheme this weekend, and then he might paint with me on stream next week. We'll see. I'm hoping the color scheme works out well. We stole it, didn't steal. I asked the color scheme from Hobby ADHD, who happily handed over his recipes for his salamanders, and we're gonna try it. Yeah, putting gold leaf on minis? That's probably is a bad idea. Yeah. Somebody did that. I don't remember who. Some YouTuber did that at one point. I don't think it turned out particularly great. Was it Heresy for Heretics, maybe? May have been him. Hey, T-Slayer. Yeah, I'm going to get the Saturnine box. Yeah, hands down. It'll be painted. 1,000 Suns. I'm not a huge fan of the Saturnine Termies, but they kind of get normalized, you know? Yeah, it was Heretic. Okay. That's funny. Wandering picked. All right. Now let's get a quick drink of water. I can print gold details and with gold flake toner. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, all the decals. Yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. Be right back, guys.
I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, and you'll bring a lot of good thoughts.
All right, back. Hey, Roke, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, and Mad Freak, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome in, Roke. Guys, go follow Roke if you don't already. Thank you so much. How was your stream, man? I'm trying to get over the last vestiges of this cold, and talk and paint while I'm doing it. I have crazy kids running around my house, so it's a whole thing. Were you working on Heresy stuff, Roke, or what were you working on? Also, how long did you stream? Wordbear, Sorcerer, Lord, and Terminator. Okay, okay. Sweet. Was it a print or just like a third party? Nice. About 90 minutes. Okay, okay. Oh, I understand. I totally understand. Yeah, reaching kind of the end point. Oh, cool. Hey guys, if you're just joining from Rogue's Raid, welcome. I'm the painting dad. I just chill and paint minis, and apparently do that while fighting a cold, so it has been a pretty wild past like month and a half in my house, so I'm about tired of things happening. Going next, clearing a few of my smaller minis. Nice, nice. What's next? What's the big one? Like a demon prince or like a giant mini or just a big project? Like a lot of minis. Hey, Hellchorn. Allergies cold past 3 weeks. Yeah, yeah. It's like Sunday. I was kind of coming down with something. By Sunday night, I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep because I just had so much drainage. I'm trying to take it easy. Yeah, it's disrupting my schedule, and it's really frustrating because my schedule's been disrupted for like the past month, and I'm tired of that. Archvillain, big old demon engine looking thing. Oh, cool. All right, very nice. Yeah, this all started. My house was hit by a tornado. In the beginning of May. I think it was the 1st of May. Pretty ridiculous. My house was fine, but it knocked over a healthy tree in our yard, right into the middle of the street. I should pop back to the way. Okay, that's cool. The mini looks great though, Hellchorn. It really does. Yeah, I mean the fact that you're gonna push it further is awesome. Yeah, I was in the middle of streaming, and it's like, man, there's some crazy storms coming tonight, so I might get off early. And then there was a loud sound, and my power went out, and yeah, and then I ended up going upstairs because my hobby room is downstairs. I went upstairs, and my wife and I looked outside, and our whole tree was down in the middle of the street. Oh yeah, feathers take forever. That's understandable. So yeah, knocked over those communication lines, like phone lines and stuff, and landed in the middle of the street. And it took them all day the next day to get it out, and then it took them the rest of the next day to get our internet back, and yeah, and then we had to pay to get the tree removed because our city is stupid and they don't pay when there's storm damage. Yeah, we found out it was a tornado, and it was funny because our tornado sirens never went off. I don't mind painting feathers, but yeah, there's always entirely too many of them. So yeah, it gets real tedious real quick. What's up, Mydro? Taking a break from Warhammer stuff. That's fair. I can understand that. There's been a lot of Warhammer news and rumors and things going about, so I want to paint feathers for at least, yeah, as you're assembling Magnus, who just has big feathered wings. Makes perfect sense. I think whenever Magnus, ascended or transfigured or whatever comes out for 30k, I'm probably going to get him. I don't know if he'll be next or he'll be after Mortarion, but I think he'll be somewhat soon. Gonna spend way too much money. Start on Magnus' body. That's a good call. Otherwise, I'm playing a Space Marine Army deployment, choosing units to target. Oh man, so in general, I would say a couple things, maybe not specific to Space Marines, but I personally in 10th edition, you always deploy like you're gonna be second, like you're gonna have the second turn. So don't put your units in the open. Make sure things are hidden if you can. All that kind of stuff. You don't want to give your opponent targets on the first turn to destroy things. And then, if you can, try to be second player. I think second player is a better place to be in 40k right now, mainly because the final turn of the game gives you the last chance to score objectives, and it's a big advantage. So deploy like you're going second, and then try to shoot for second player. Yeah, I mean, like, Painter Series and a lot of these things. Scam some of that tabletop violence just make them cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't sound like GW's MO to make minis cheaper just to paint. I think something to consider when you're playing is when you decide you want to target things to shoot, or you're kind of figuring out what you want to, attack that turn. Try to make it units that you can kill. So, which is fine to like chip damage off of big minis and stuff. That's totally fine, but you don't want to be like every turn. You don't want to set up and be like, okay, if I can just get this long bomb kill on this knight, I'll be in a good place. Like, you don't want to keep setting that kind of stuff up. You pick off things that you can kill, and you commit to it. And as a Space Marine, you get the Oath of Moment, so you get kind of extra damage into that one target. So you really want to take advantage of the extra like oomph you get. As far as like the shooting phase goes, always start by shooting with units that only have one target option. So, you have a unit sitting all the way in the back with sniper rifles, and they can only see one other unit. That's the first unit to shoot. Don't shoot with the units with options, because if their first option dies, they can always shoot at something else. Whereas the unit who doesn't have options, like, they're only going to be targeting that one unit. So, so worry about like the order in which you shoot is important. What else? Like, you're gonna have to like take risks and stuff. It's like it's a board game, right? Like, it's a dice game. Risk is part of it, but don't rely on like 50-50 chances to do everything. Command point rerolls are good, but don't use them when it's not like a failed 2-up or something. Man, I had 2-up armor save to save this model, and I rolled a 1. That's when you use the command point. Don't use it when you're like, I have a 5-up to hit to try to kill this mini, and I missed it. Like, don't use the reroll on that, because it's almost guaranteed to fail. OPR rules are free. Yeah. Yeah, D&D minis are good ones to paint. Yeah. The Nolzor's minis. Yeah, have fun with it. If at the end of the day, if you have a big character, your big warlord character, and the enemy's big warlord character are close to each other, and you guys want to fight it out, have fun with it. I think at the end of the day, winning isn't everything, you know. And when you rarely get a game in like yourself, um, I think maybe it feels like the stakes are higher, right? It's like, you know, if I don't win this game, like I'm not gonna have a win for 6 more months or whatever. But ultimately, if whether you're winning or not, if you're not having fun, it's not worth it to play. So, you know, laugh about it, do goofy things, you know, taunt your opponent as a Space Marine may. I don't know if Space Marines would care to taunt opponents, or your particular chapter would, but um, yeah, have fun with it. Oh, we talk those pre-assembled, pre-prime D&D minis are amazing to paint. They're such good minis. Yeah, they got mold lines, but who cares? They're also all warped and everything, but they're $5 for 2 minis. Like that's a solid deal. Like little sets of minis. The monsters are pretty great too. Your mistake, yeah, obvious. Yeah, everybody's gonna make mistakes. Hey, what's up, Gosu? Yeah, if you want to improve, yeah, ask your opponent. Don't ever give unasked for advice, especially in a Warhammer game, and especially if you just beat your opponent. Like don't start doing that. But you know, yeah, be open to learning if that's what you want to do. One bronze in the Mecha May comp. Oh, nice. All right, dude. Congratulations. That was the vote thing we did, right? Silver, we'll come back and get that. 6 done. No, 2. Oh yeah. 6 done. 4 more. I mean, if you got bronze with that thing, then that's there must have been some crazy minis in that competition. You're the only Warhammer mini. All right, be right back, guys. Okay. Okay. Wandering Pick, yeah. I think there is a big difference between being good or knowledgeable in something and being a good teacher of something. It is a completely different skill set to be able to teach something well. Uh, yeah, as someone who is married to a teacher, has done a lot of teaching himself, and is friends with a lot of teachers, I have an immense respect for people who can actually teach. It's a little sloppy. Yeah, and something to keep in mind too. is yeah, there's going to be rules that both of you don't know in the game. And don't be afraid to look up rules or to question when something's happening and look it up, and be open to that as well. Um, yeah, because sometimes people read a rule a certain way and it ends up not being that at all. But that's just kind of how it works. Hey Zen, what's up, man? How are you feeling today? No, Wandering Pick, you are not too stupid to play Warhammer. I know some really stupid people that can play Warhammer. You are definitely not dumber than they are. You watched the Truman Show before work? What'd you think, dude? What'd you think? We were talking about this in the Patreon hangout last night. It is possibly my favorite Jim Carrey movie. And I like Jim Carrey, so. So, yeah. So, an interesting thing about that movie, Zen, that movie, it presents itself as this is how Truman finds out um, he's, being watched and everything, right? He's part of the TV show. It is not that. Truman has known that for a long time. The movie is about how he plans his escape, and that's like how he executes his plan. Like he's known it for a while, and you can see that in his mannerisms and how he's trying to hide it from people that he knows. Like he purposefully the way he like gardens is like really goofy, like he's all about his garden, right? But he's digging like an escape tunnel, and he's been doing that for a long time. And he makes sure he knows where the cameras are, and he makes sure he covers them. And yeah, there's just so much to that movie that is like way deeper than like you would think. Yeah, he's known for a while. He just can't get out of it. Yeah, he just kind of played along, right? Yeah, and like little things like even at the very end, like his kind of last line in the movie, he knows it's his catchphrase. Yeah, that's a good movie. I need to rewatch that movie now. Ignorance is bliss. Yep. Which might be one of the themes of the movie. Okay, three more. No. Yeah. I remember watching that movie when I was younger, and I was like, I thought that was supposed to be funny. Like, do the funny thing, Jim Carrey. What are you doing? I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling better. You know, sitting here painting and talking nonstop is starting to mess with me a little bit, but I am feeling better. The congestion's pretty crazy, but I haven't taken any medicine since yesterday evening. I'm hoping I don't need to, but I don't know, I might. No, I don't have a fever, no. I haven't had a fever at all. Give me an alrighty then, yeah. Oh man, first time watching Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The just the opening scene with him as like the UPS guy. I remember me and my brother just dying. Like we couldn't stop laughing. He's doing like cartwheels on the box and stuff. It's the funniest thing ever. I gotta find a Jim Carrey movie I can show my son. The Mask? Yeah. I haven't seen The Mask since I was a kid, but I remember I watched that movie when I was like 5 years old. Old movies? Yeah, oh yeah, they all are, yeah. All of his movies are definitely not appropriate for kids, right? Um, he technically has seen Jim Carrey movies, they're just Sonic. Which Jim Carrey's amazing in those, but yeah, before PG-13 was a thing, yeah, yeah. PG for parental guidance, yeah. It's rated 12 and up in Germany, yeah. It's crazy me what my parents let me watch when I was a kid in the 90s. German ratings are not lenient at all. I would not expect anything different. Almost done with this white. What we'll do, we're gonna put a wash on these mini. You know, no, I'm gonna do one more color. I want to paint the batteries on these a slightly different color. But we'll put a wash, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of assembly here. So Zen, your Kurz, he is not quite finished. He is varnished, and I was working on weathering powders on him last night, um, on like the base and everything. I just need to do more with the weathering powders. I wasn't super happy with how they were coming out on the base, so I put a little bit more on this morning. But I just have to do blood effects, and he's done. So just so you know, I'll have him for you tomorrow, um, to take home with you. But he'll be good. I'm really happy with the mini though. Um, yeah, it was a fun mini to paint. I'm gonna take some of Gosu's advice with the blood. I'm gonna try to mix up some like dried and like still wet uncoagulated blood. So that should be Should be fun. That's true. That's true. Hey, Squirrel Loot, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Joining on YouTube. Okay, two more. Two more on this color. Hold on. You know, before I start this, here, I'll show you. I'll show you here. So Kerr's, there's weathering powder still drying on here, but underside of the cloak painted, his cape and everything, they're just fine. Yes, a lot of blood to put on the guy. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm happy with how the mini turned out. He's gonna look sweet on the battle too. Me and Zen agreed, guys, that we're gonna play a game of 30k with Primarchs before 3rd edition comes out. And did it crash again? I don't think so. But Zen's he's gonna smash my army. It's gonna be very one-sided. The armor was it was Vallejo metal color, and I built up silvers on the Vallejo metal color until I got to like a very bright silver for a highlight. And then I used Pro Acryl transparent blue. And I think I thinned it down 50-50 with some medium, some glaze and wash medium, and applied that over the armor. But that was it. It's really nice. That transparent blue was like the perfect shade of blue that I wanted. He's definitely Night Lords while being kind of separate, right? Because he's a Primarch, and they're kind of like set aside, being the like demigods that they are. Fresh TPD find down? It's playing an aqua. Oh no. No, it's good technique. Yeah, by all means. Transparent paints are great. Cultured American is funding my summer here with all the ads that he's watching. So thanks. They're built different, yep. Mortally wounded, every apothecary came to work and had no idea what to do. Yeah. But sir, his armor's a different color. We don't know how to fix this. He does not have any lightning. No. The Studio Mini doesn't. I don't know how it would do the lightning on the metallic armor anyway. It would be difficult. Not impossible, but it'd be difficult. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got tons of stuff going on. Yeah, it'd stand out too much. I agree. I mean, what I could do, Zane, I could grab some transfers, some lightning transfers from that sick transfer sheet you got. That was totally cool and definitely not a waste of money at all. Did you put some of those on your tanks? You should use those on your, at least some of, you have some stuff you can put on your tanks, right? Like little symbols and stuff. Your rhinos and stuff, okay. They're the official GW ones, Wandering Pig. The Night Lord's transfer sheet is the worst of all the legions. Me and Zen went through every single legion transfer sheet and looked at them. And the Night Lords are hands down the worst in so many ways. I think they have the fewest in number of transfers on a sheet as well, but most of them are just useless. No, they're really bad. Yeah. There's a lot of things like that you might not notice on a first glance, the reason that they're so bad, but like the banner transfer is the worst kind. They don't have like a cool symbol you can just put on a banner, and the lightning transfer is taking up a third of the sheet or whatever, and they're useless because they're going to look so different than the lightning you paint in your minis that it's not going to make any sense. And they're transfers, so they don't sit well on minis, so you need just like large flat panels to put them on, which is unusual in on GW vehicles. They don't have a lot of Legion numbers. They have like 20 actual Legion number transfers, which are something that you put on almost every mini shoulder pad. And they only have a couple of them, where some Legions have like 100, 150 of just those on their sheet. Night Lords don't. You decided I watched enough Twitch for the day. Oh, yeah. Is that what it is? The giant Grim Reapers are silly? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the, whoever made the Night Lords transfers were just thinking of, like, Halloween. And they're like, what's a cool Halloween-themed thing we can do? Like, yeah, coffins and Grim Reapers. Computer, it's so broke it ran out of cash. Oh no. Do one more thing with the white paint when I'm done with this. I'm gonna paint one of these studded shoulders white, and it'll mess up the gold. Go back and correct that. I'm gonna try to do a sergeant shoulder pad. I I think the studded one is good enough, but it'll help me pick them out. Pick them out of the crowd. Yeah. I just want to say, I have been following these Horus Heresy leaks, and the guy that's leaking stuff hasn't posted much in the past like day or so. But he's posting them on 4chan. Now, I'm not a person that spends any time on 4chan ever. But I was like, you know what? For the sake of Warhammer links, I'm gonna go follow this and like get these leaks as they come, right? Because people have been real like cagey about posting them because GW's been like sending people like cease and desist and everything. And yeah, because like that's the place where things leak, right? Like that's the place where people think they can be completely anonymous, which I'm sure they can't and they aren't, but somehow they still think it. But man, what a place. Like, you know, the old saying of, there's not a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Like that is 4chan in a nutshell. Wow. I literally feel like I can smell the people posting. Like the people who are posting on 4chan. Like I can smell them. That's wild to me when it's that bad. Yeah. It is not a pleasant smell. It's on the tabletop games or whatever, is it TG or something? Yeah, it's not even I know Zen. It's not even, but it's go soon. That's incredible. Yeah. There was like a 4chan meetup. All right, let's see. There is a specific set of arms. This one. This is the one. Although I can still just aim that one. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters, but we're going to paint this shoulder white. King of 4chan. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. That's wild. Ugh. And I understand. I understand we got some 4chan people hanging out in chat. I'm just saying. This was my observation. Tumblr. Yeah, Tumblr is bad in different ways. Yeah. All these social medias have like every social media has the worst kind of person just in different ways, right? we're not going to be like GW. We're actually going to paint the shoulder pad rims here. Different brands of horrible. Yep. Absolutely. Blue Sky. I've never heard of Pillow Fort, but I do have a Blue Sky account. I haven't posted in a long time. Blue Sky seemed like, I was never like a Twitter person, so I never had like a Twitter account or whatever. But Blue Sky seemed like what I used to see from like old Twitter, like old social media, which was pretty cool. Like it was a different vibe. But that was like last year. I don't know like how much it's changed. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do, I want to. Do I want to? I don't even know if I want to. It's a little bit of silver. We can get that later. Let's keep it how it is. I'm going to take a quick break, guys. And when I get back, we're going to put a wash in these minis. All right, I'm back. So other fun things going on in the miniature gaming world. Hey, Valreth. I didn't realize that was you. It's you talking. Where's my black? Well, there it is. Okay. Warhammer: The Old World is about to have a big update, and that big update is going to change a whole bunch with the game. It's going to be like a 1.5 edition, which is funny because this whole conversation about doing like a 0.5 edition has been the subject of talk for the past year for the Horus Heresy, and it's just getting a straight up third edition where the Old World is literally about to get like a 0.5, like a major overhaul, but all in the same edition. So pretty crazy, but yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot of cool changes, and I'm excited to try to play some Old World at some point with these changes whenever they do release. But yeah, it's really exciting. And there was an article about Cathay today, and the article mentioned a second Arcane Journal for Cathay coming. So they're not going to say just one book, but they're going to say 2 books for the army. But that does imply that there's going to be more minis coming for them. Hey, Spill Paint Pot, what's up, man? What's up? I never got a response from the customer about what hand they want on Perturabos, so I'm gonna wait. If he doesn't respond in the next couple days, I'm gonna just start spamming his messages or something, I think is what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'd like to know. I don't want to do things without them knowing. I understand being loreful and much like Perturabo while doing it, but not when someone's paying me money to paint their minis. Only person I'll do that to is Zen. When he tried to get me to use the Uhu goo on Kurz, and I had to shut that down. Alright. The what? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, we gotta get these things out here. There's this stuff, go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be number 10. Sure. There's this stuff that hobbyists use. It's called Uhu goo, and it is it's like a tacky, like clear tacky substance, and people use it for mixing with like red ink and making like blood drip and everything. No, you're completely wrong. Yep, like Conrad Kurz was turned into Uhu goo. Yeah, and I don't like how it looks. Yeah, I do not like how it looks. It makes like the blood look super tacky and like stretchy. And that to me is not good looking or realistic. Okay. I think this is going to be easier just to magnetize these. It's like spider gel. I've never heard of spider gel, but based on that name, if it's anything like the name, it's probably fairly similar. Immersion ruined, yeah. Okay, let's wash. Saliva and slime than blood. Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, like slime and stuff like that. Yeah, is a much better use. Yeah, you probably did. What do you want to know about? What do you want to know about Spill Paint Pot? I'll tell you about it. We can talk about it. Something I did want to talk about is I think missile launchers are going to be really good. Obviously, like cost dependent if things remain a similar cost. But missile launchers have been a meme in Heresy, I think, for like the entirety of second edition. They're just not great. But with the new like vehicle rules and the heavy rule that missile launchers are getting, which is they have heavy AP. So when they stand still, I think they're going to AP2. I think, but I think missile launchers are going to be really good. Um, no to both of those questions. Spill Paint Pot. Um, it is not staying super like there's a ton of big changes. It's definitely an addition change. So, they changed enough to where people weren't like, couldn't be like this could have just been 2.5 or whatever. There's a lot changing. However, it is so far removed from anything close to Age of Sigmar or 40k. There are some like themes that pop up that are like somewhat similar. Like vehicles explode on a dice roll. It's not like I guess it was a dice roll before, but it's not like a vehicle chart. It's anytime a vehicle dies, you'll roll a die and it'll explode. Which is a 40k that does come from 40k. But the game itself is going to be so much more complex and like crunchy that I can't imagine anyone with a serious face and actual knowledge of the game saying that this is just like 40k and being serious. Yeah, Culture American AP is the old rules for AP. Yeah, that's old 40k rules for AP. Is that's why. Yeah, if you play Age of Sigmar 40k and like modern 40k, and that's how you got in the game, you're not going to understand how AP works. AP is all or nothing in Heresy. Can you sit still for a second? It's very much either your weapon gets through the enemy's armor or it doesn't. And yeah, so you're basically like AP. You want a lower number. The lower number, the better. That's all it is. And if it matches or like you're kind of thinking it like it gets under the armor, um, based on like the die roll. Like one is the lowest it can be, right? So if you get under the armor for your AP, then you ignore the armor. That's what it is. Yeah, the force organization chart is a lot different. It's like Legions Imperialis, but it's basically you take so, and this is just for the Astartes. My understanding is the other armies are going to have different organization charts, and what I hope is that more force organization, like primary detachments and more detachments, come out with like campaign books and stuff, the campaign journals. So I have hope for lots of variety coming with the army organization, but it's essentially you start with that primary crusade detachment, and it's a high command, 3 command units, 4 troops, and 4 transports. That's the whole detachment. You can take any number of units from that detachment that you want. There is no compulsory units. Um, so you don't have to take troop choices if you don't want to. There are tons of advantages to taking the different units, but you don't have to take them. Um, you can have there are things called apex detachments, let me see if I'm getting this right. Apex detachments are like Lords of War and Primarchs. So you can take, and the Primarch, you're limited to 3,000 points or larger to take a Primarch. So no Primarchs in 2,000 point games. And those units can only be 25% of your points. So simple. Lords of War, you can take up to 2 Lords of War, I think, in the Lords of War detachment. But same thing, 25% of your points cost. Now, you can't quite do Thanatars everywhere because you have these detachments called auxiliary detachments. The auxiliary detachments are where all your like bread and butter units are. So your Terminators, your Dreadnoughts, your tanks, your heavy transports, your fast attack, your recon stuff, those are each in different detachments. And you unlock those by bringing Centurions or command minis. So the command slots in any detachment really unlock the auxiliary detachments. But if you're taking command units, every command unit you take unlocks a detachment. There is at least one exception to that, and I imagine there will be more depending on the type of consulars you take. If you take a basic Centurion with no consular upgrade, you unlock 2 auxiliary detachments. So you can fit more fun units without the HQ tax if you take basic Centurions. No, because you can take other detachments. So it's kind of like I guess it's a little bit like if you want to add more into your army, you're taking HQs like consulars to unlock them. You can just take allied detachments. There's allied detachments. There's no requirement for those. You can have as many as you want. So if you want, you can take you can take an army with 1 Crusade detachment and 17 auxiliary detachments and just make them all Centurions. And you can make a Shattered Legions army and play Hero Hammer with just 18 Centurions if you want, all from a different legion. Which sounds like a fun idea, honestly, to try. And probably lose, but it does sound like fun. So I imagine they said each detachment will have its own rules and requirements. So I'm sure there's going to be some certain things to unlock certain things, or things you have to take and can't take, and blah blah blah. But you have a spot for a high command mini, which I imagine is like the Praetor level characters and everything. The high command unlocks specific detachments as well, and those are like certain elite units or retinues. Like command squads or more command slots are detachments that are unlocked, or rules with regiments. I'm not familiar with the AOS rules, so it could very well be. Yeah, you're not the first person I've heard mention that. They very much follow the Legions Imperialis kind of rules though from what I've seen. But yeah, there's ways to shake it up. I don't think it'll be too hard. Because it's just like, you take one and then you pick a new detachment. That's all it is. Like, oh, you have a command mini, it unlocks a detachment. Now, I don't do it. I'm not someone who has ever programmed anything before in my life, so maybe that's a lot more difficult relationship, but than I'm thinking. But there's plenty of interactions in Battlescribe where it's like take X, unlock Y. So I don't think it's gonna be too insane. I do know that specific legions will have specific detachments unique to their legion. So there's going to be an Iron Warriors detachment that comes out, maybe more than one, and they might come out with more as you go down the line and everything. So that will be a thing. But yeah, that's how detachment works in a nutshell. It seems a little more scalable. I imagine if you want to play very large battles, you just take more than one primary detachment and you just build out from there, right? Yeah, the Legion rules are going to be the big thing, right? the Legion and Army rules. We were talking about how other armies will do their detachments. I need more wash down. I didn't put down enough. But yeah, wondering how other legions will do, or other armies will do their detachments, because Solar Auxilia don't have that many command minis to unlock detachments, so they can't spam command squads to unlock detachments. So how's that going to work? You know, little things like that. LI has compulsory. Okay, yeah, things I didn't know. Like I don't. Yeah, you know what? LI, it does have compulsory. Yeah, I remember that. It's like you take this detachment, you're required to take like the 2 tactical squads, but then you can take these extra things. So the command point if you have more auxiliary units. Or okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We haven't seen the complete rules for him yet. So. And the person that was leaking the rules just kind of stopped, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to stop until this weekend." So I don't know why. Like, you take pictures and you put them on the internet. It's not that difficult. If I had these rule books, guys, I'd be leaking them real quick. No, it's not GW leaking the rules. It's not. I do think that GW will I'm of one of the believers that GW will put minis out in the wild. Um like Dante and these like random minis. They'll put them out in the wild before they're announced. Um but I don't think they leaked these rules, because it seems like they had a very like controlled marketing strategy, and it's all just out the window. Like, they wanted to tell people, they wanted to control the narrative on like how the game was announced and everything, and it's just all like out there, or a lot of it's just out there now. And I'm curious if they're going to change their marketing strategy now, because they were wanting to slow feed rules to slowly show people how much has changed while telling people not much has changed. And that's definitely not what's going on right now. People see like all the crazy changes. Should be held water, it'd be a sieve. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the stuff that's leaked is definitely stolen goods. It's stolen goods that were sold on eBay, which is illegal in the U.S. to buy stolen goods. Um, so I'm sure GW is trying to find who the person is, and I'm sure the seller of said stolen goods has been or is in the process of being punished in some way. But Iron Warriors, we get their Dominator cohort back. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, like I said, I think what's gonna happen. Oh, okay. Here's my hope. And I know it's very it's not prudent to hope for things with GW, specific things, because GW has a great way of just like doing their own thing that nobody likes. But here's my hope for this edition. All right, I hope we get these, all the rules get released and blah blah blah. It's all great. We get some cool stuff. I understand there are going to be things that people want for their legion and their army that will not exist in the rules. I want this detachment, I want this unit, I want this ability. It's not going to exist. They're putting 9 armies in each book. It's not going to happen. What I hope they do is, as they release these campaign journals, because that's what they're called campaign journals, the first one being Istvan. They release these journals, which are small $25-$30 books. I don't know, they're smaller books. I hope in these books that they put out more detachments for armies. So like, yeah, cool. Who are the armies that participate in Istvan? Like a lot of them, right? And we have Iron Warriors, for example. Um, and the Iron Warriors will get this unique detachment because we're featuring them in in this campaign book or whatever. Like, here's a detachment for them, and here's some generic detachments everybody can take. Just some ways to vary it. I hope they do a lot of that, kind of like they do in the arcane journals for the old world. And I hope that those campaign books are released relatively frequently. And I would love to buy some campaign books with some like somewhat cheaper, not big $60 commitments that come out. Um, I'd be totally cool with that, as long as it's more than like one a year, which is what happened with 2.0. Yeah, Lord Shaman has great Legion Terminator minis and stuff. I got some of his stuff for my son's salamanders if he ever decides to paint them or to get around to collecting an army. We're gonna try some test color schemes this weekend. Oh my god, these magnets. They're not strong enough. For being GW's third biggest game, I hope Heresy gets like the legitimate love it deserves. Okay, we got three more. So much love it'll get 40k. Yeah. Let's hope not. Another thing I hope, and I know this is the real long bomb. Like, campaign books frequently with new rules is one thing, but I hope that if we're doing the rotating schedule for Heresy, and it's big enough that they actually start doing the quote unquote 3-year cycle, and if the old world is really as big as everybody's saying, and it's going to be thrown into that cycle as well, I hope what happens is GW moves to a 4-year cycle with their big games. A 4-year cycle is such a huge difference compared to the 3-year thing. Um, I think everybody would be happy about that, right? And it gives them more opportunities to not have to churn out stuff. Like, I don't even know what I can't even think about, like, what books, what codexes have, like, the Knight Codex didn't release, even though it was supposed to be out like 3 months ago. The Chaos Knight book is out or almost out. Space Wolf box is out, but the book isn't out. There's no Black Templar book yet. Like, it's crazy, like how little like fanfare there is for a codex coming out. It's just, oh yeah, here's the next book, here you go, enjoy it for 2 weeks while it's good, and then we're gonna FAQ it here soon. Yeah, it's just like, doesn't matter. And like Age of Sigmar is just being ignored in the corner for the time being or whatever, even though their edition came out and they're supposed to be like, but it's like GW is waiting until like between years 2 and 3 to release everything, and then it gets rolled over. So yeah, give me 4-year cycles for their 4 games. I'm cool with that. Lets us get settled in. I loved Heresy. I felt like I have played a ton of Heresy games. I waited a year to get into my Thousand Suns. I've collected 10,000 points of just Thousand Suns, plus all the auxiliaries and everything. Um, I've been having a blast. I've played, I don't know, 40, 50 games of Heresy. Like, I played a lot in 3 years. Give me another year with, like, actual content coming out. Incredible. I'd be okay with 4 years. And I also think, like, them kind of having a rhythm of, you know, Heresy is our old school 40k game, so it's got to keep the old school vibe. Um, Age of Sigmar is, I don't know, like, what, more Hero Hammer, but round base fantasy game. So we're going to keep that. Like, it kind of has its style and the gameplay elements that keep it what it is. So they're going to keep that. The old world is the square rank and flank game. You know, we're gonna, like, you know, keep those elements that the older gamers liked, and then let's keep that around. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be spending a lot of money at one time too. Yeah, yeah, it's not good. I spent enough money on home repairs this year, and the rest of it's going to Heresy minis. Yeah, I hope they kind of keep that or put that attitude out with those games of, like, you know what you're gonna get even with the edition changes and stuff, and with how things are changing. And I honestly think GW and the rules designers for Heresy for 2.0 didn't want to make 2.0 and were rushed to do it because the guy that wrote all the rules died unexpectedly. Yeah, it Alan Bly, maybe? I believe, yeah, he died unexpectedly, and, like, they were, you know, still putting out stuff for Heresy. And so there's this weird, like, 2.5 years of almost nothing for Heresy. Very little for Heresy at all. No new rules or anything. Just a couple, like, resin minis and stuff, and then it's Age of Darkness. So I think what happened was the rules writers were like, "Oh crap! Like, we don't have anything to continue this. Why don't we? You know, we got to make it our own kind of thing. We have to, like, get away from Alan. You know, rest in peace. But we can't just lean on everything he did." So they made their own edition, kind of haphazardly. It was very poorly worded. There was no balance. It was fun, but they did that, and now this is them. They're like, okay, so we're gonna do this as, like, a stopgap. It became way more popular than they anticipated, and they're like, okay, well, let's make it our own, you know. And so the designers, because, you know, it's a specialist team, which has a lot more creative freedom when it comes to like, rules design and stuff. But so they took this edition. So 3.0 was, like, their edition, how they wanted it to be, and yeah, and so that's you know, that's what 3.0 is, and hopefully 3.0 sticks around longer. I hope it's like, yeah, we got it where we want it. Now we can, like, do all the little things we wanted to do. The rapiers are what, like 70 retail for two of them? Is that right for the rapier carriers? What's that, guys? Back in a second. All right. All right. All right. Yes. So I'm gonna buy a box of rapier carriers. You get 2 of them. My understanding is, well, I'm gonna get a 20% discount too at my local store. But then you have you get the 2 carriers and the 4 marines in it, which is pretty. I mean, it's pretty standard. 2 is like the perfect number for those. Okay, we have minis washed. It's gonna need time to dry. That's fine. I have something I'm gonna do in the meantime. So let's put you guys all up here. Baggie of bits. I need that baggie as well. And then this one as well. Yeah, a bit pricey. I think those 2 rapiers cost more than a tactical squad as far as points go. So. Okay, we got those. Yep. All right. Going to need magnets and end up needing shoulder pads, but I don't need those yet. So here's what we got. We got this guy. We need to magnetize or glue pieces. And what I do is I magnetize the arms first. Glue. And what we do is we sit them together while they're gluing. We just kind of keep them like that. What we can do in the meantime, let's get out the other missile launchers. Just one there. Yeah, I have whole bags of just weapons here. And magnetized arms. Heavy bolters and missile launchers are things I want to use in the new edition more. Because they're cool. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10. Alright. It's an assembled missile launcher. I need shoulder pads. I like this like body horror of just arms all connected to each other. Some chaos stuff. I think I'm just going to have a lot of printing I'm going to need to do. Printing arms and other things. Okay. A whole bunch of those arms. We got right arms, we got left arms. That's what I need. And we'll get to these heavy bolters some other time. Yeah, flesh change. Yep. I need rules for Thousand Suns turning into Chaos Spawn. That's what I really need. Okay, now where is my shoulder pad box? There. I know I have a container somewhere which is shoulder pads, unless I actually used all of those. If that's the case, then here. Huh. Maybe I did. These are just whole sprues of arms I'm probably never going to use. It's 10. How many arms is that thing? That's both sides. Yeah, so this is like the under... You know, I could do something with these. Where are my shoulder pads? I'm gonna try to find these shoulder pads real quick. Or I have more stuff to paint. It seems like I must have used all of the shoulder pads at some point. So I think we're gonna try something else, because we can't put the we have to have the shoulder pads to put the weapons on. I can't do that otherwise. So I do have, though, which is pretty cool. If I just want a weapon here, I have a second arm that has like an Auspex scanner or something right there. So we put that on, which is pretty cool. But I think what I'm going to do... Oh, and the magnet just came out of that. That's cool. What's that? that arm? Okay. Weird. Keep you separate then. Stick you on this guy. Move those over. Be all of these. Yeah, so let's do this. These are both the same screw. Yeah, I just have extra screws of weapon arms here. Troy, what's up? Sergeant, Banner, turning 9 total. Oh, cool. Very cool. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know why I need these out, but if I got them out, what I'm going to do is... Or do I drill them before I clip them? I think I drill before I clip them. That's probably the smart way to do it. There it is. Get your old wow stick out. We'll do our 1 mil to start. I have a Dremel. I don't think the Dremel has measurements on its things, but we're doing so. These underslung weapons have the hands attached. So what we need to do is just drill the ones that only have the wrist pieces. Not this one. This one is for the Auspex. So not that one. So it's just the one on this. I think the WoW stick is great. My only issue with this WoW stick is when you get to the higher diameter drill bits, and the grip on this little holder piece, it isn't great enough, and it'll just slip. It'll just spin, and it won't work. So it doesn't work at like the higher widths. Otherwise, though, it's great. Yeah, I'm going to drill all the way through. We're going to go right through the little square peg here. Make sure I don't drill my finger. It is a crazy time saver, though. I mean, I've had this thing for years also, and it's worked fine for me. Yeah, I have a rotary tool as well that I'll probably use here in a few minutes. But yeah, I guess another issue is the size of bits that you can use with this are really limited as well. So I'm not going to be drilling 3mm holes, which is what I want to drill with these, but I can't do that with this tool. Everything on this sprue. Yes and no, Star Laser. These pieces are really hard to widen with the pin vise. Because you don't have a lot of room on the outside, and what the pin vise does, what the wider drill does, it ends up just shredding everything and just pulling it all apart. Because I'm looking at a 3 mil. I think this is the 3 mil. Is that the 3 mil? That might be. Hold on, I have a magnet here. Where did I put that guy? Okay, no, this is the 4 mil. So this one's bigger. I think. Is that the 3 mil? Here's the 3 mil, right? Yeah. So this is the 3 mil drill bit. And if you just like put this up against here, like you don't have a lot of extra room. It's a pretty decent size. Yeah, it'll end up shredding stuff. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to widen the little like pilot holes. And then see if open. Yep, there we go. See if that makes it a little easier. So we'll step up to do 1.5 mil. We just did 1 mil. Let's do 1.5. Yeah, you see how it gets stuck. Yeah, it's not tight enough. I don't want to use like pliers to tighten it, but yeah, and that's where this struggles when you get into the really control it. Yep. So if you're wanting like an all-purpose drill, this is not the thing to do it.
I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart.
Hey, Pimento Mori, welcome. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Pimento Mori. How's your stream? Yeah, these arms are real smaller than Primaris stuff. Not by a ton, but they are smaller than Primaris. I don't really magnetize my Primaris stuff, though. Okay, now where is this drill? Let's see. Was it? It's over there. All right, let me grab it. Steel is forged in the fires of raging dumpster. Okay, all right. Pretty great quote though. Okay, so we got this little drill here. I don't know if any of these bits are 3 mil, but we'll check out the bits that we have.
First of all, let me take just a moment
Hey,
to
thanks for
thank
the
you
follow,
for allowing me
Immersed
back into
Clock.
your home.
I hope you're doing well. Actually, it looks like it might be a 3 mil or close. That's slightly smaller, but you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. We can work up. If we can do this. I was painting some heavy weapons for Horus Heresy, but now I am just doing some like magnetizing, some beginning magnetizing for some heavy weapons. We'll see if that works. Slower drill. this is a... I have it on like the lowest, one of the lower settings. Let's turn up the speed a little bit and try this. It's actually pretty solid though. That's not going to fit this magnet. But we can work with that. I can work with that. Alright. It's a little sketchy because, like, look at this thing go. Horus Heresy is a ton of fun. Yeah, I really enjoy. I've been playing Heresy like all through 2nd edition. This sound like a dentist office in here, guys. I'm sorry. It is a lot more casual. Yep. Faster speed. Yeah, and that's something I really like. Oh, okay. Hold on. The bit is slipping out here. Yeah, it's a little Dremel, like a cheap Dremel I got. This thing won't tighten, though. I want that tighten more. There we go. Here's Minis. You got Mark 6 infantry. Yeah. It's a pretty solid start, to be honest. Okay, let's try this. Power to be that high. Okay, that's working a lot better. We're playing dentist today, guys. That's what we're doing. This might prevent me from having to print a whole bunch of arms. Which is pretty great. This is also a lot easier to do on this sprue. Check something. Is that a bunch of melted plastic? It is. Look at this, guys. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't think about that. It melted the plastic on here. That's crazy. No, I need to go bigger. The goldsmith and her. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I probably should be wearing a mask for this. Let's see something. Let's try. Yeah, rip that bit. Yep. Hey, it still drills. There we go. Look at that. Popped right off. No big deal. Yeah. Alright. 6 more. This thing has attachments for bigger bits, so I'll get the 3mm bit out. We'll swap them out. Carbide drill bits, because once again my pin vise were... yeah. That's what I did too, I got nice drill bits. That's this 3mm one I have. Alright, let's get this nice toasty bit off of here. Nice and finger burny. Like plastic. Yeah, I got glasses on. Is that the biggest? No, definitely. Okay. That one should work. Maybe. No, come on. Dang it. Yes, Star Laser, you are exactly right with that. Okay, so I don't have a bit that fits a 3mm drill in this, which to me just sounds like I wasted money on this thing. Let me see something real quick. That's funny, when it melted it was actually getting out to that 3mm size. A little messy. Bigger collet, yeah. The Temu one does? Dang. Yeah, that one's not big enough. I mean, I can force it. It's probably not what you're supposed to do, though. Or, can I? That looks dangerous. Let me see here. It's called kit bashing. That's right. Yeah. That might be fine. I mean, it's not going anywhere. No way this thing's coming out of here. That's not stable at all. Yeah, that's probably a no-go. I'm scared I'm going to break my mason jar, and I don't want to break my mason jar. Yeah, I could sand these holes out, or just like Dremel them out here, but I also don't want to do that with without a mask. Like, drilling things is one thing, but actually, like, sanding and stuff, like, getting all kinds of dust in there. Warranty void. Yeah, I need a warranty on my Ardell rotary tool. It was like $8 on Amazon. I don't need anything else from there. Okay, well. Back in there. All right. So, what we can do, though, we can check back to our what you calls it, the weapons we were painting. Oh no, Zen! Oh, that sucks. That's funny. Well, that's a good start, though. If this works with these on the sprue, that's going to save me a lot of time printing stuff. I'll just drill out things. So, it's good to know. Yeah, because what I do is I'll make sure the polarity's right in the magnet. I'll glue the magnets in. And then I just pop the arms on the shoulders, basically, and make sure that they line up. And you'll put the weapons on. And you just make sure... Oops, it's got a magnet on them. Just make sure they're both good. And they end up lining up. You know, they all line up in some way on their own. You just have to have the process. And I glue them together while they're just magnetized on the Mini. And then I have the weapon here. So, and that's all it takes. It's a long process, but it was took me a while to figure out. Get all this off here. Plastic dust. Alright, so for our heavy weapons, are washed. Wash looks about dry. It's coming through. I don't know if that's a problem or not. We did varnish these, so that shouldn't be happening. But it is. Okay, we're going to keep a close eye on that. A bit of the red tint coming through the white, or a bright neutral gray. Yeah, which might be a potential issue. Take these, take them off their stands. Some of them are still wet. Sergeant shoulder pad. Best feeling in the world. Go attach the weapon and watch it fly off. Okay. 2 aggressors in a 5-squad set. Mount the grenade launcher, put the magnet on the autocan. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, magnetizing the aggressors. I never did that with mine. I just assembled mine and painted them. So. Said I magnetized some of my vehicles for my Primaris, but I'm not magnetizing smaller minis for them. This is my magnetizing game. But yeah, we have these guys, so let's see if he's the sergeant. I need to do like highlights and stuff on the red here and a whole bunch of things, but this is the Mini. So you know, the magnetizing. I have the other 9 Marines here that have their magnetized arms. Airbrush got delivered. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, good luck with that. Yep. Paint consistency is the big thing. That's the big difficult thing. Okay, I can get some gold out. We can just start highlighting the little bits of gold. Yeah, I really like these. And it'll be cool because I have all or almost all of the heavy weapons available to them. And I just have, you know, these magnetized dudes. And I also have, I'm prepared to put bolters on them as well, to magnetize bolters in case I want just, you know, more tactical Marines. But, yeah, and if I ever want more squads of heavy weapon troops, I just paint up more Marines. I just drill out their arms, and I put the magnets in their arm sockets. Like, that's all I do. And they're ready to go. Like, the weapons are already painted. So, it's kind of easy projects for the future. It's just a lot of work now. Yeah, I have autocannons, Volkite, heavy bolters, missile launchers, las cannons. I have Thousand Suns plasma cannons, the Aether Fire plasma cannons. I don't have, there's a heavy flamer, multi-melta, and maybe something else set that I don't have. Oh, it's a plasma cannon in that set, like the normal plasma cannon. I don't have that set, but I have the all the others. Hey, Rage, thanks for the sub. I appreciate that. Anything besides that one thinner for your airbrush? Normally, no. If I'm using like a non-acrylic paint, I'll use the thinner they recommend for that. But yeah, Flow Improver is my thinner of choice. Book, the heavy book.
I believe.
Hey, there it is. Notification is behind today. What non-acrylics are you using? Like when I was using it, so I'll use if I'm using like the Tamiya Clear Red, which is, they call it acrylic, it's not acrylic. What are some other things? I can't even think of non-acrylic paints that I use. You may have stumped me, Raja. So yeah, I guess I just use Flow Improver to thin things out. It's like, man, I had other things that I thin things out. Yeah, I don't really use my inks a whole lot. Those are also acrylic anyway, so and I don't need to thin inks. I did push some, I will very seldomly, I've done this like maybe 2 or 3 times, but some oil washes. In that case, use like mineral spirits, right? Yeah, varnishes. I put varnishes through my airbrush. I don't really thin my varnishes though when I put them through my airbrush. Those are usually thin enough to go without any trouble. The thing about airbrushing varnishes though is you need to clean your airbrush out like a lot more carefully and more thoroughly. than you would, because they will, you know, a little bit of varnish will clog things up pretty bad. So caught me in a fib. I think I'm just really hungry and tired. That's my excuse. I'm gonna stick to that excuse. Paint airbrush thinner for everything. A PO primer. It does need a tiny bit of thinner. Yeah, the PA primer is really nice. It's very nice and like matte when it dries, which is great. But it does go on a little chalky if you don't thin it. But you want something that'll delay the dry time, because you don't want it to go on dry, because then that's really how it looks. Really how it looks chalky. Midwest, how you doing, man? Welcome in. I'm just painting. I think I'm getting ready to kind of close up for the day, though. We're doing some random hobby stuff. I was assembling some minis and painting and trying to start on some other things, but we got that little highlight in. Stynylrez, yeah. I have a Stynylrez gray, and it freaked people out because I would prime minis with that gray and then paint them, but the gray is the same color as Games Workshop plastic. So I'd start painting the mini. I just have horrified people coming into stream asking why I'm painting unprimed minis. Every time. Without fail. That's what was happening. Can't tell what you put, what you have in the a wing and a prayer. That's Hal Starlaser. You go through the motions and just assume whatever you did worked. Zen, did someone claim that the raffle yet? I don't think anyone's claimed it, have they? I think I only have one ticket, and it wasn't mine. Yeah, normally it takes 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 rounds before someone claims the raffle, which is crazy to me. But yeah, we'll see. That's true. Yeah, it was someone that was at the last event. Well, yeah, how'd you get 79 and 81? That's weird. He gave out 2. I should have gone. I would have had that one. Oh, okay. He does that. Yeah. Okay. Alright, guys. I think I'm going to call it there today. My plan is Sunday's a maybe. Sunday night for a stream. It is Father's Day on Sunday, so there's a chance I won't be streaming. I kind of want to. I want to paint, but we'll see. Next week, I believe I'm good to stream all 3 Tuesday through Thursday, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, and what I want to do, I'm gonna make the honest effort here. You guys can keep me accountable here. Yeah, that's fair. I want to stream from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. all 3 of those days. I'm going to be painting Perturabo. I'm going to finish his assembly and whatever other shenanigans. I did get a reply. We're putting the hammer on him. But I want to paint him, and I want to try to finish him next week. So I'll have 12 hours to paint this dude, and I should be able to get him done. I was told to make him gritty and grumpy, so we're going to try to do that. But that's what I want to do next week. Provided there's not, like, something crazy happening that's been happening, like, past month and a half has been just absolute insanity in this house. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that's what I want to do next week. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. is the plan. But with that, I'm going to call it for the day. Oh, thank you, Culture American. Yep. Hey man, it's, whether you're a dad or not, happy dad or not dad's day, right? But yeah, you guys have a great weekend. I'll be chatting through. I'm hoping there's more Heresy leaks and stuff to talk about next time I stream, and we'll have some fun times. But you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all Sunday or next time. All right, bye everybody.